When the people are suffering and crying and reaching out to him, he must respond as a father would respond and should respond in a family. The president has abandoned the people. That's why they have called him all these names. Zakayo, Kasongo, and what have you.
Now you're making 2025 scary now for Kenyans.
It's not scary.
If we have no hope in our institutions, does this mean...
It will be very difficult to have hope in the circumstances under which we live as Kenyans.
A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Gerald Kabir. I'm so glad that you've joined us for our political conversations here, conversations we've had throughout the year about building this country, both in policy and in politics proper. It's an honor to see you. Look, we had our first impeachment this year. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was impeached. What would you say that means for our state of democracy in this country? When you look at it, is the first time everyone was jumping up and down, asking themselves, will this happen? Can it happen? But he was impeached. Where are we when it comes to democracy?
Well, things like this take us forward in terms of democracy, in terms of governance, in terms of our laws. You know, Gachagua's impeachment was an opportunity for us to test how far we can stretch our constitution. Okay. Unfortunately, the courts and those pushing for his impeachment, those in power, denied Kenyans that opportunity of stretching our constitution and seeing how far it can, putting it to the test.
Where is that opportunity?
An opportunity like that.
Missing?
An opportunity like that, because you see the courts, you know how the courts behaved. They were in a hurry. Everybody was in a hurry. The president was in a hurry. Government was in a hurry. The judiciary aided that. Everybody's in a hurry. We didn't give the processes time for them to be put to test.
Are we seeing 2025 being a year like that of 2024 when it comes to impeachment? I think it's Caleb Hamisi who talked about Raila had told them to impeach Gachagua so that they can deal with the bigger fish later. Could this happen in 2025?
Well, you know, once you do something like this.
Hi, my name is Eileen Akal, and I'm the head of training at Center for Innovative Technology Limited, SciTech. If you finish your Form 4 and you would like to enter into an engineering field, architectural field, or any related field, please come to SciTech. We will train you how to be industry ready. We will also train you how to make engineering drawings. We will train you how to draw using the software.
I did my degree in China for 4 years. After I finish my degree, I come back to my country, Kenya. But the knowledge I find in SciTech, it's much, much better than the 4 years I spent in China.
We can empower a lot of young people in Kenya to gain gainful employment. And I want to speak to parents out there. If you have a child who's just done fourth form, between the time they do their exams and the time they enter tertiary education, there are so many months there they waste. Bring them here. In those short months, they will gain skills that they can use to advance their careers, to start their own even private companies. They can find work online, and when they go to university, they'll be so way ahead of their peers.
Welcome to SciTech.
It has a possibility, some people may say the danger, of opening the floodgates. You know, Kenya is a country where at the slightest opportunity somebody goes to court. Yeah, litigation is our middle name as a country. Who knows? This impeachment may become the order of the day. Yeah.
Could this be what we are saying with Ruto? You know, building bridges with Uhuru Kenyatta, with Raila Odinga. Is he safeguarding himself? Would you say he's in a place where he needs Uhuru Kenyatta, he needs Raila Odinga for him to survive?
Yeah, but people can also get annoyed. Raila can lose the AU and hell can break loose. And people may attempt to remove Ruto through that route. So, because we have made it so easy, I can see there is a really danger of this becoming a normal thing in this country, almost routine.
We saw the Gen Z protests, and everyone was talking about Article 1.
Yes.
Power belongs to the people.
Yes.
Should there be something be done so that we see this power being exercised directly? Because when you look at Gen Z protests trying to get into parliament, trying to oust a Ruto, nothing really happened. How can we make this really directly for the people?
No, it can't be direct in that sense. It only becomes direct when things are happening like they happen in South Korea, Sri Lanka sometimes back, Sudan, and a few other countries, you may say.
There's no other route.
That's when it becomes direct. So those in power must ensure it doesn't, people don't exercise that power directly. Because it's always ugly. Because people have given themselves institutions and laws. So they stay back and hope the laws that are put in place will work. The judiciary will work. And the people will see the judiciary is working. Not the way it is in this country today. You'll have to be a very conservative person, very, very understanding and forgiving to say the judiciary is working. And then those in power must also show the people they understand. There will be differences here and there, but they will manage those differences. When there are complaints from the people, they will listen. They may not do as people want, at least not completely, but there's listening. So when those institutions fail, when the people in those institutions fail, then you are pushing people to taking the power into their own hands.
Is this what
And it's never a good thing for any
Is this what
country.
government has done throughout the year, pushing people?
Pushing people.
You listen to the president, he's saying there is an evil spirit all about opposition. Joho talks about we will deal with people. What are the repercussions of this, and what should change when it comes to government speaking to people and how you're saying pushing people?
You see, the government is continuously pushing people. The judiciary is pushing people. Parliament is pushing people. These are institutions Kenyans gave themselves. Because we are looking at civil order. We are looking at stability in the country. We are looking at peace in the country. Yet we know when human beings are together and they interact, there will be conflicts, there will be friction, there will be issues, there will be excesses. So we have given ourselves these institutions to mitigate whenever there are all those challenges. So Parliament has failed. It's supposed to listen to the people and say, okay, Your Excellency, this housing thing is a good thing. We also agree with you. But the people, no.
We can't even talk about
we can't.
Parliament.
Please, let's leave it. That is supposed to be Parliament now, because they are always representation. Listen to the people and look at taxation. That's what the president, well, we hear. We know the IMF is around. But the people, really, we are going to lose the people. Indeed, we have lost the people. That is Parliament. But Parliament has failed the people. When the people need Parliament most to stop the excesses of the executive in terms of overburdening the people, Parliament has failed when they are needed most. People have gone to judiciary for reprieve. Even the most obvious cases, the judiciary has given token support to the people by staying, by issuing an injunction here and there. But when the really thing comes, they dismiss the people. They remain with whatever they call it, but the people can see the judiciary is surely failing them. And the executive is there. Because the president is supposed to be the father of the nation. When the people are suffering and crying and reaching out to him, he must respond as a father would respond and should respond in a family. The president has abandoned the people. That's why they have called him all these names. Zakayo, Kasongo, and what have you. You see, and he's not listening. So the institutions we have created and given ourselves for orderly governance have failed the people.
Now, the picture you're painting, Prof, is that the people have no hope in the institutions that were put into place for them.
Simply put, yes, people have lost confidence, they have no hope, they have no faith, they are on their own. The judiciary has failed the people. The legislature, which is Parliament, has failed the people. The executive, headed by the president, has failed the people. So the three institutions created by the people for orderly governance, so that the people don't become animals and take law unto themselves, those institutions have failed.
But now you're making 2025 scary now for Kenyans.
It's not scary.
If we have no hope in our institutions, does this mean...
It will be very difficult to have hope in the circumstances under which we live as Kenyans.
Are we looking at a year then where Kenyans now go back to the streets as we saw with Gen Zs, but worse than
You
it
see,
was?
the street is just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. I don't understand why the people in power don't see these simple things, which even a kid is supposed to see, and even children are seeing.
You know,
There's so much government, the judiciary, and the legislature can do to give hope, to restore hope to the people of Kenya.
when do we stop talking now, Prof, about what can be done? And we've talked about it for a year.
Yes.
What can be done but hasn't been done?
Correct.
What should Kenyans do when they're not being listened?
But people do the inevitable. I've explained to you, in the ordinary conduct of business between human beings, man and wife, man and children, nation, blah, 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 in the country, there will always be friction, conflicts. We must manage those. That's what governance is about. So what have we done? We have created institutions to impeach people when there is transgression, when there is breach, when they violate, when there are excesses from the executive. We have given ourselves parliament to check the executive.
Yeah.
When the executive implements laws and the regulations that are going to crush the people, and the parliament doesn't seem to be with the people, we have given ourselves the judiciary to put the executive in check. You get how, you see how we have done it?
Yes.
Those institutions of impeachment, of making sure wrongdoing is not allowed to go on. When they fail, then we enter the stage of what we call street impeachment, where the people now take the law into their own hands. And they have recourse in the first article of the Constitution, that the power belongs to the people. And they can exercise that power directly.
It seems the government is dealing with things as they have been.
Yes.
But now we are living in a woke generation.
Correct.
Every information is coming through social media platforms. You see it instantly. How would you advise government now when it comes to dealing with its citizenry? Because it seems like when the president is speaking, no one is listening. They're just looking at what is coming through social media platforms. How would you advise government moving forward? What should be done?
My advice to government is simple. No government in the world today can govern except they listen to the people. No government in the world, anywhere, can govern without listening to the people. No. It's just a question of time before your time comes. No government in the world today can govern without listening to the people. None. It's not possible. You have to listen to the people. And the people they never ask for big things.
Can the people be wrong?
Of course.
As I asked that, Kindiki, Deputy President, talked about national interest, public interest. Can the people be wrong? And what should the aerial view of government be when it comes to listening? There's the national interest, there's what the public is interested in.
The people can be wrong. And indeed, many times people are wrong. You can look at history in terms of kingdoms. You can look at the Bible. The people can be wrong.
But how do you, then?
Now,
how do you listen?
That is how a leader now comes in. A leader is a person who does not necessarily follow the people. To follow the people is not to lead. You must be at the front. People who say that we listen to the ground and do what the people, that's not leadership. Leadership means you take the people. That's why you are there. You guide the people. Oftentimes, they could come with things that are wrong, that derail the vision, the journey to where you want to go, the journey to Canaan. What is your responsibility? Is to ensure you walk with the people. And now, that is the role of communication. And communication changes from time to time. When people saw people were perishing because of doing certain things, even eating certain foods, the leaders of the time, those days, sat quietly and whispered among themselves, let's say this thing is bad to eat. Let's put religion there. Let's make it taboo. and so on and so forth. And it worked. It saved people. The people would not have accepted not to eat the good things they were told. So taboo. You can't do that today because people will know it's a lie.
Because even when you
They'll know it's a lie, so you have to engage them with the truth on the table.
you know, this issue of vaccine, whether it's true
Yeah.
what government is doing, whether it's not true
Yeah.
about Bill Gates, Kenyans don't want to listen.
Yeah, and they can't all be wrong. But they could also be wrong. It's up to you to explain. That's where now communication comes in.
So do you appreciate the fact that we are
You
here?
don't force it.
Do you appreciate the fact that we are here in our democracy where Kenyans can speak the way they are? Should we appreciate that there is free speech?
Yes.
Do you think Kasongo and Zakayo, do you appreciate how Kenyans are speaking now?
And the
compared
cartoons
to-
and everything,
compared to
caricatures or
Moi's
whatever.
regime?
Of course, nobody would have done this during Moi's regime. Not even when Moi was about to leave. You would have faced the music. Anybody trying to handle this problem the way it would have been handled 20 years ago is also not woke. You say woke.
Well, thanks for tuning into that conversation about where we are as a democracy. Do you think there is something the government is doing right when it comes to free speech? And do you think there's something the citizens are saying right that the government should listen? Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.